Hey, I'm Dr. Dave Harris, and I want to welcome you to this series of videos on video and television production. We're talking about video switchers, and specifically in this video, we're talking about color. In a typical video switcher, this one happens to be a Blackmagic video switcher. There's always going to be, though, access to the color settings. And in this switcher, it's going to be on the soft menu panel right here under color. Push that and you're going to have the ability to change things like background color, or if you're in a border control menu, you'd be able to change the border color as well. There's always going to be three different dials in a color setting. There's going to be the hue dial, the saturation dial, and the luminance dial, or in some cases it might be called the lightness dial. As we rotate the hue dial here, we're going to be rotating around the perimeter of a color wheel and changing literally the hue of the color, or the actual color that is being represented. Whether it be blue or red or yellow or cyan, magenta, whatever it might be, we're going to be rotating that around the dial and changing the color of the color, the actual hue of the color. As we rotate the saturation dial, we're going to be changing the amount of that color in our color choice. So as we move to the outside of the color wheel, meaning higher numbers on the saturation, we're going to have much more increased and vivid hues of color. There's, in other words, going to be a lot more color. As we move to the inside of the color wheel, or in other words, have lower numbers of saturation, we're going to have less color, even to a point where we may end up in a shade of gray or black or white. Whether it's a shade of gray or black or white is going to depend on the luminance setting. And the luminance setting is also going to change the color. If we're still fully saturated or not quite at 0% saturation, the luminance or lightness control is going to change the vividness of the amount of light in the color. So in other words, with changing any or all three of these dials, we're going to be able to choose any color that the switcher has to be able to generate, which really is going to be millions and millions of colors. This video is part of a series of videos on video and television production, and I invite you to our channel where we have playlists and more information. We update videos all the time, so if you want to subscribe, that's great. And I invite you to visit our Patreon page where we have specific content only for patrons, and if you want to help us produce more videos like this, that would be great. As always, I thank you for your support. I am Dr. Dave Harris.